So by now, I think we're all aware that Machamp V alt art from Astral Radiance is experiencing a pretty dramatic price increase. However, there's one more card from Astral Radiance that is also experiencing a pretty similar price trajectory. So if you take a look at Starmie V from Astral Radiance, the trainer gallery version of this card with Misty, you can see that at release, May 27th, when Astral Radiance was released, this card was going for about $32. And now this card is going for about $45. And that might not seem like a pretty dramatic price increase, but I think you have to understand that any card, for the most part, decreases in value from the time it's released and then a week out. However, there's two cards that I can find from Astral Radiance that are high value and that are doing sort of the inverse of that, which is they're increasing in price as we move further and further away from its release. Starmie V trainer gallery version with Misty, very amazing artwork. You got Misty just chilling. Looks like they're chilling in a pool. She's laying back, relaxing, and so is Starmie, and they're having a good time. And Misty Starmie, a very classic Pokemon. And of course, Starmie, another Pokemon from the original 151 Pokemon, just like Machamp, is seeing a price increase that I don't think many people were expecting. I mean, a lot of people were expecting Starmie to have a strong price. You know, a lot of people were expecting Starmie to be one of the most, if not the most expensive trainer gallery card from Astral Radiance. But I think what a lot of people weren't expecting was that Starmie V is actually increasing in value. And again, this is a very uncommon occurrence for a Pokemon card that is just released. Let's go ahead and take a look at the sales history here. Most recently, this card sold for $41. Before that, even the same day, $50, $42, $47. But if you take a look at the price that this card was selling at originally, it was going for about mid 30s, you know? Like I said, at release, it was going for about $35. It's going for $30, $29. Like, this card is pretty cheap at release, and now it's seeing a pretty dramatic price increase. Of course, if you look at the chart, this card has sort of retraced a little bit, but still, I mean, just look at this chart. This chart is very, like I said, it's very uncommon to see a chart like this for a card that just came out. And I think one of the first cards you think about when you think about a card that has increased in price since its release is Umbreon VMAX. And you're not wrong, but it didn't happen in a week. Like, the card Umbreon VMAX did not just increase from the time it was released and then a week out, which is what we're seeing with Machamp V, and that's what we're seeing with Starmie V from the trainer gallery. Like, if you look at, you know, one of the first sold listing of this card, it was about $337, which is kind of what it's going for right now. And you can see that this price was just going down, you know, when at the time it was released, it just kept going down until Pokemon wasn't giving us another Evolving Skies reprint. So it took about 6 months from August all the way until March for this card to go back up to the price that it was debuting at. And that's with Evolving Skies being a very high in demand set. That's with Evolving Skies being underprinted. All of the crazy market activity that surrounds Evolving Skies, and this being the main chase card from that set, you're gonna get a chart that looks like this. But what I think people don't understand is that the price chart of Starmie V is very uncommon. You know, like, this card has only been out for essentially a week. I mean, it did sell a week prior on TCG Player due to the fact that there was a pre-release of Astral Radiance, and the first official sale of this card was allowed on May 20th, and that was for $40. But still, like, this card is higher than that price. And you see that the price of this card did go down. Very, very similar to how Machamp was behaving in the beginning. Like, it debuted high, and then it kind of went down, and then people realized, like, no, this card's actually really sick, and people want this card, you know? And it continued to go up in price until about the first of the month, and then it's gone down about $3. But still, this is a pretty dramatic price increase. This is a very uncommon occurrence for a modern Pokemon card. And I don't think a lot of people realize this, but Starmie V is actually the most expensive trainer gallery card now that we have from the Sword and Shield era. If you take a look at the trainer gallery cards from Brilliant Stars, you have Umbreon VMAX being the main chase card from the trainer gallery subset. And if you take a look at this chart, I mean, this card has just gone down in value. You don't see anything similar to what has been happening with Starmie V. You know, this card debuted at $230, and it just continues to go down. So why is it that Starmie V is seeing a price chart and a price increase that looks like this, that looks like Machamp? So to start off, I'm gonna be the first one to admit it. I think Astral Radiance is actually just a better set than we thought it was going to be. At $100 for a booster box at release, Astral Radiance is a very, very strong set. I don't really remember the last time we had a set that was debuting at $100. Even Chilling Reign was going for over $100 at release. And I think this set is a little bit better than Chilling Reign, possibly. I think Astral Radiance is a pretty good bang for your buck. There's a lot of great cards in this set. You have a lot of great trainer gallery cards. You have a lot of great alternate art cards. If you open an entire booster box of Astral Radiance, you're going to get a lot of cool cards. You know, I wasn't a believer at first in Astral Radiance, but I bought a booster box and I opened it and I got about $70 back in value from it. I pulled a Garchomp Trainer Gallery card, which is really, really cool. That was one of the cards that I really, really wanted to pull. I love Garchomp. And yeah, I also pulled the full art Garchomp along with it, which is very nice. And then I pulled a gold Hisuian Samurott. So yeah, I paid $100 for the booster box and I got about $70 back. So I paid about $30 for the experience of opening a booster box, which actually isn't that bad. So yeah, I think the set is actually just really, really good. I think it's just like one tier lower than Brilliant Stars and Evolving Skies. If Evolving Skies and Brilliant Stars are A or S tier, I think this is at least B tier. And there's a lot of great cards in the set. Like I said, the Trainer Gallery subset makes these sets really, really enjoyable to open because you're going to get about 4 to 5 Trainer Gallery pulls when you open a booster box. And another reason why I think Starmie V and Machamp are going up in value is that we need to not underestimate the appeal of Gen 1 Pokemon. These are the original 151 Pokemon. There's so much demand for products that have these Gen 1 Pokemon. And Machamp and Starmie are pretty popular Gen 1 Pokemon. They're not the most popular, but when you tie Starmie with someone like Misty, who is obviously very iconic in the anime and also in the video game, and you have Machamp with an amazing artwork that details Machamp running around a village, helping out people, and him living harmoniously with people, you're going to see people wanting these cards. So in my last video, I was talking about how Machamp V Alt Art was potentially a buyout. I think the more and more I think about it, the more I begin to realize that Machamp V Alt Art is just a great card, and I think people want it, and I think the demand is more or less organic. I think there is some potential buyout behavior, but for the most part, this card is increasing in value because of organic demand, in the same way that Starmie V has organic demand. And with the really, really hard pull rates for both of these cards, it doesn't surprise me that at release, these cards are going for a certain price, and then maybe a week later they go for more because people are realizing, hey, these cards are way harder to pull, but I still want these cards, so I'm gonna go out and buy these cards. Now, do I think these cards are a good investment? Probably not. I think eventually these cards will retrace. And another reason why I don't think that these cards are super investable is that Pokemon can just reprint Astral Radiance to Oblivion, and these cards can go down in value by a lot. So with modern Pokemon, you're always at the mercy of the Pokemon company's printing capacity and their willingness to reprint. So you always have to be very, very careful about that. But if you do want Starmie V, I mean, $45 for the card, it's a very nice card. I don't think that's that outrageous of a price. I would be more willing to pay $45 for Starmie V than I would be willing to pay $130 and $140 for Machamp V. But if you really, really want Machamp, go ahead and buy it. But there is also Machamp V in Japanese that came from the Time Gazer set. And the last time I checked, that card was going for about $20. It was kind of wild because you had the Machamp V Japanese version going for about $20 and you had the English version going for about $130, $140, which is actually a very, very huge price discrepancy between the Japanese and the English set. Like, you don't really see that huge of a price discrepancy happen in modern Pokemon anymore. So that was very, very surprising. But again, the power of Gen 1 Pokemon, the power of the original 151 Pokemon, the power of seeing a very iconic Pokemon character like Misty alongside her Starmie, we shouldn't underestimate the power of Starmie V from Astral Radiance. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to see more of this content, and I'll see you in the next video.